Welcome back to Just in Our Minds. I'm here with actually somebody I've known for a really long time now that I think about it. It's been like 10 years at least.
Yeah, at least.
We've been touch and go along the way. So he started in mortgage banking, and then he's been a serial entrepreneur since he was a kid. And the only Ghost Longboards. If you look at these bad boys here, I think you might be able to see it on one of the cameras. We'll get it in there as well. But he created this Ghost Longboard company. Since I've seen it, they've been taken off. It's been an uphill battle, but you guys seem like you do really good. The content's really come a long way.
Everything's like a roller coaster in business. It doesn't matter what it is.
So this is Russ Warner.
Yep. Good to meet you guys.
Super solid, nice guy. He's always been fun to work with over the years. So getting started from a kid, what was the beginning? What got Russ into wanting to start selling things and building businesses?
When I was a kid, I came from a divorced family. So my mom was up at work she'd leave the house at 5 a.m., come home at 11 o'clock at night. So she always worked two jobs. So as a kid, it was survival. So you had to figure out, how am I going to get food? How am I going to get clothes? And how am I going to raise myself? So I just started making chocolates and suckers and started selling them like St. Mark's Hospital and other stores as a 7, 8-year-old, 9-year-old. Stay up till midnight making candy. So that was my first entrepreneur world. And I'd make some money, then go buy more molds and buy more sucker equipment and chocolate. And
what were some of the candies that you like navigated towards? Like what sold the best?
It was always following. So St. Patrick's Day, so everything was St. Patrick's, and then Christmas, and then Easter. So I just keep buying molds that were fitting whatever holiday. So
would you do like colored, like some of the colored chocolates?
Yeah,
and different
colors
things?
Be green and black and red and
Did you do any hard candies or anything?
And all the suckers that were hard candies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does. You said suckers.
Yeah.
What was the favorite flavors? What was your heavy hitter?
From the suckers, you're always doing the Tutti Fruttis and the cherries. Mm-hmm. They'll probably sell the very best. Yeah, some watermelons, things like that. I think they're still the same flavors today as there were 40 years ago.
Yeah, Tutti Frutti, is that like a juicy fruit flavor, or is that like a tropical flavor?
Kind of like a tropical.
Okay, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, so I would do that. I would smash cans. I would collect newspapers, mow lawns. So kind of my whole career, my life, I've been an entrepreneur. Then I got big into lawn care when I got a little bit older and built up like 77 lawns. I was mowing all over the valley. I didn't know anything about lawn care. I just kind of winged it and started hiring people to help me do it. And then my brother came to me and says, "What are you doing? Go get a real job, get a shirt." Because when you're mowing lawns, you're shirtless. You're you're driving a Jeep, no doors, no windows. And he's like, "You need to grow up." So I sold it and jumped into opening up a mortgage company.
What age did you start the lawn care business?
That was in my early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah. So I tried a chemical company before and I failed at it. So I had this great idea when I was going into college, like I'm going to open up Global Chemicals. I was thinking big, and I knew how to mix chemicals because I worked for a chemical factory, and I thought, hey, I know how to mix them. This should be easy to sell them. But I failed, and then I started thinking, okay, I got to do something else. And then a friend says, "Hey, why don't you do lawn care with me?" And I said, "Oh, you just put an ad in the newspaper. It says, lawn care." And that's all it was. Just putting a little ad on the newspaper, and then your phone would start ringing and you go bid out accounts, and then you start having this residual income every week. I'm like, this is good.
That's a great word of mouth too. And that's back what house phones. So like, Rachel down the street is going to talk to Brittany and so on and so forth and start building up 77. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And I got really good at it of trading accounts with a friend. So he'd have 5 accounts in Midvale and 1 in Highland, and I'd have 5 in Highland and 1 in, so we'd trade accounts. So we started helping each other with their business. It's because every Tuesday you want to be just in Sandy, and on Wednesday you want to be in Salt Lake. And
no travel time.
Yeah.
Right, cut it down.
You cut it down to be really, really efficient. And then we even started helping each other. He had about the same amount of accounts. I had the same amount of accounts. A lot of times, the only time you could tell that we were separate is by our invoicing. Because we'd even go help each other. Like he'd say, "Hey, I've got this big apartment building. Let's go do it all together. Then I'll go help you with the fund dome. Then we'll go do this So we just were really good friends and ran two separate businesses, but we helped each other with all of our business together.
Yeah. What's that? The quote, like, tides rise or rise all boats together or something like that.
I
love
think that's what we did.
Huge.
Yeah, then we both jumped into mortgage together even after that. So we both sold our lawn care businesses and jumped into mortgage, but it was the same thing. My brother handed me a phone book and says, here, start with the letter A and call people, see if they want a mortgage. I was like, okay. So you open up, all right, A, rates are 7.75. You like to buy a house or refinance? And they'd say yes or no. So you start going down the line and you start closing like 50 loans a month. You're like, hey, this is pretty easy. This is not hard to do.
Mm-mm. Oh man, that was something that we were just talking about AI before the podcast. That was something that helped me out a lot too. Was I was doing cold calling for a side hustle.
Yeah.
For an elite extraction. It's a extraction lab, and they also had CBD and things like that. And that was one of those things. It's like being able to like just go, hey, find all the businesses and with this prompt in this state, and then get me the numbers, the emails, and everything. It makes it so much faster because we don't have Yellow Book anymore.
No, I know. There's no more white book, yellow book. I think a lot of people, when they start a business, they want to overthink it. And they want to say, I need this business plan. I need this strategy. And I didn't know anything about lawnmowers. I didn't know anything about candy. I just went down to the local candy shop and said, hey, what type of molds do I need? What type of chocolates do I buy? How do you make a sucker? I just asked them. I'm 8 years old. And then the same thing in lawn care. I'm like, I'd go down to where they sell lawnmowers. Like, hey, what's the best trimmer? What's the best lawnmower? And
and then you're like, what can I buy with this?
Yeah,
but what's the best?
Yeah, I'd say, what's the best? They're like, oh, the Walker, that's like $12,000. I'm like, okay, what's second best? Oh, that was $7,000. What's the third best? Oh, the $2,500 one.
Yeah,
that's
you're like,
what
I got $2,000. What can I get with this?
That was it. And I'm like, okay, that's what I'll buy.
Yeah.
And
back in the day when they would fix them and you can get a refurbished lawnmower and things like that for a good price.
Yeah, and you're buying your equipment, then you're upgrading it.
When
As
things
you
still
get
had a
busier,
carburetor.
yeah, you get busier. You're like, okay, I could buy now that upgrade one. It'd be a little bit faster, a little bit better. And I think mortgage was the same thing. When I jumped into mortgage, I watched a girl for 3 days. All I did is sat next to her, dialing for dollars. I was writing down, my notes. Okay, ask what her name is. Okay, ask her what her social is. Okay, ask her what her interest rate is. So I was highlighting with this yellow pen, of everything I need. I'm like, third day, I'm like, okay, I think I got this. So I jumped in and just started calling. And actually, I remember my first person, her name was Susan Brown. She goes, yeah, I'd love to refinance. And then I'm like, great, what's your name? Susan Brown. And my face got hot. I felt like my hair was standing straight up, and I hung up on her. So my first one, I hung up on her, and I went home like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. That scared me to death. And I kind of panicked. And I went home, I had a house, and I was in my 20s, single, and living by myself. I'm like, okay, I am going to lose my house. I don't have a paycheck, and I need to figure this out. So the next day I said, I just got to do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes you have to do things you're afraid of.
You always.
Yeah.
Always
if it's knocking doors, just go do it. If
Mm-hmm.
it's making phone calls, just go do it.
Yeah, I did the door knock. And like I said, I was blue collar most of my life.
Yeah.
Lawns. Most of my stuff was like tree service work and things like that early on. But when I moved to Utah at 22 in 2012, like I lived in Springville, and then I moved up to Orem. And when I moved up to Orem, it's like the sale, like summer sales, and so I tried. I tried doing the summer sales gig, and it's interesting. I think it'd be cool if it was selling something that wasn't like, I felt like I was manipulating elderly people, and I didn't like that. Like some of the
you have to believe what you're selling.
Yeah,
and me,
but it's scary.
Mortgage was an easy thing. Candy was an easy thing. Because then also I got into doing
and candy. That's like a drug. Yeah, it's literally a drug. It's a mind altering.
Everybody
substance.
loves it. And they didn't ask me back then. A little. I didn't have a business license. I didn't have all the stuff that you should have.
You have the FDA and the IRS coming to your house to check on your candy.
I'm just funding myself, and I was living my life. It was what I did, and so I followed my mom. She worked 2 jobs. So in high school, I would work 2 jobs. I worked at a chemical company, and then I worked at a restaurant at night, and so I'd work until like 10:30 to midnight every day, and then I've always done that. Mm-hmm. Even when I was doing mortgage, I like, well, what do I do at night? So I went and got another job and work till midnight. I just always think there's this extra time. What else are you going to do with it?
Exactly.
So-
What would you say is some of the hardest hurdles for you in business in general? I'm sure that's kind of a loaded question, but
Yeah, I think it is a little loaded. In business, I think sometimes you're all alone. You start hiring employees. Even on the mortgage side, I started hiring employees and people, and you're the first one in the office, the last one to leave, and no one knows what happens after they go home. They don't know all the behind the scenes. Most CEOs are still doing things for their business all the time, and it becomes your marriage. It becomes who you are and your identity. And I think we're always trying to separate ourselves. What's our identity? What are we known for? Am I known for my business, or actually am I known for something else? And on your tombstone, is it going to say, gee, he was a hard worker, or was he a good person, or did he give back, or was he charitable? Was he loving? Was he present? And throughout my career, I became addicted. If you want to say what my addiction is, it became work, and it became business. As some people it's alcohol, some people it's drugs, some people it's pornography. Mine is work. And I've actually even talked to therapists over it, thinking I'd rather be at work than anything else. Someone says, well, why don't you go golfing or go do this? Or, well, can I go to work? And that's still a little bit me that I'm trying to figure out how to balance that.
What are some of the double-edged, say if that's the double-edged sword, what are some of the good and bad things that have happened that you feel comfortable talking about?
Yeah. So one of the reasons actually I started this company of ghost boards, because I was, that song Cats in the Cradle and Silver Spoon? That's me. So that is my theme song. I was gone on an airplane at mortgage Tuesday to Friday. I kept saying, I'm building this for you guys. I had 300 employees, 38 branches around the country. I would have Monday morning meetings, and then I would be gone Tuesday to Friday and work till midnight. And then I'd come home, and I was not present with my kids. I was still trying to now catch up with work and sleep and do stuff. And, I had an awakening of saying, oh my gosh, my kids are growing up. I don't have any relationship with them. They say I love work more than them. And that's really kind of where ghost boards stemmed from. Previous to that, I thought, okay, I was trying to figure out this balance. So I started this company called Marketing Fruit. It was building Apple games. So marketing the fruit was the apple. And I started making games like Billy Booger and Kiss Mania and Mad Simon Monsters. Thought, hey, my kids are, they like games, and I'll start making some fun games for them. You flick boogers at your mom and dad and sister, and they sound kind of fun. And
is there like different types of boogers too?
Yeah,
you have like the little roll ones,
10,
the long.
10, yep. So the Snell booger one kind of slows down. You have the pizza booger, the green booger. So there's cute little boogers. And so really fun boogers, and every one of them had a different reaction. So if the bullet booger hit mom, it had a different reaction to that hit the cat, or if the green booger does something different. That was my life. Then I did Booger Wars, then Booger Crush, kind of like Candy Crush. So just drops of different boogers. And so that kind of became my world. So that's kind of my mind. I'm always thinking of weird stuff.
I love that though. Outside the box thinker.
Yeah. And that was the same thing as I got my first iPhone, and I was like, oh, wow, you can download games. And I didn't say, I'm not a programmer. So I went online, I saw this class. This guy said, hey, for $1,000, I'll teach you how to build games. I thought, shoot, all right, I'll sign up, $1,000, why not? And he taught me all the little secrets of doing it. I'm like, oh, I can do that. And so I just started doing it. And actually, my very first one, of course, was a mortgage app, mortgage calculator. I'm like, oh, I need that first. That's still a mortgage. Then the skateboard thing came again because I still was not present with my kids. And I thought, okay, I'm getting fat and old, and I need to exercise.
How many years ago was the ghost?
So it's a weird story. So the first ghost board was made in 2011 by my neighbor, Brent Johnson, who's my business partner. And he made one, and his son Eric wrote it over my house and says, hey, check this thing out. And I go, oh my gosh. He parks it right on my lawn. It starts burning my lawn because it's like a magnifying glass.
Oh, yeah.
So I had this mark of where the board was, forever. So I said, you can't park them on my lawn anymore.
Yeah.
But I said, I went back to Brent. I go, can I have one? And he told me no for 4 years. And finally he gave me one. And after 4 years of begging, I just keep asking.
Yeah.
I never give up. You know, there's old saying I learned, if someone says no today, doesn't mean no tomorrow. And that's always been my mentality in sales. Okay, you say no to me today. All right, I'll call you tomorrow and see how you're feeling.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense with candy
Yeah,
and
it's
mortgages.
kind of like the Dumb and Dumber. You're saying I have a chance.
Yeah. You're saying I have a chance.
Yeah, and so that's really my mentality is, if I can't do business with you today or can't have a relationship today, I'm just going to keep asking until you say, yeah, all right, Russ, let's do something together. So he finally gave me one, and I went back to him. I go, Brent, this is the most brilliant idea ever. So I was buying tons of wheels and trucks and bearings and trying to find what I like to ride for myself. So I bought actually almost 50 different sets of bearings. I'm like, I need to know what kind I like. I bought 50 different types of trucks, 50 different types of wheels. And I kind of found what I like to ride. And I said, okay. And I went back to Brent. I go, hey, I have this idea. Why don't we sell these? I go, this is a really cool idea. And he told me no for another 2 years.
So 6 years in.
Yeah, 6 years into this thing to 2017. So 2017 came around. I go, Brent, I have an idea. I go, hey, you want a new car? He goes, yeah, it'd be nice to get a new car. I go, okay, here's my proposal. I'll sell enough ghost boards to you make $400, I make $400. We can both go get a new car. You know, there's a car payment. And he goes, okay. So I was like, oh, I'm in. So I ran home, sat on my couch, opened up a Shopify website. We came up with 10 ideas of designs, and I launched it. And I thought, okay, this is gonna be fun. And like anything, you're just another website of a billion websites. There's probably a billion made a day. So I went to GoDaddy, got me a domain, opened it up, paid the $39.95, and then I went in to open up a Facebook, Instagram, and thought, okay, what do I do to start marketing this? And Instagram was kind of pretty new at this time, and TikTok wasn't quite available yet. It was called something else where girls dance on it. And I can't remember what it's called. So the social media was kind of a new concept, except for Facebook. So I just started doing.
Because Instagram was just photos too back then.
Yeah, it was just photos. So I'd go out there, take a picture of it, my street, and go ride it, and just start doing a little bit. Then all of a sudden, I'd get 3 orders. I was like, oh, someone found it. And of course, my mom was the first one, that bought one. Yeah, so I think she bought the first 10
That's
to
awesome.
give out to nephews and nieces. Yeah. So that's what moms are for, right?
Yeah.
So I always say I'm, voted number 1 by my mom.
Yeah.
And then Brent's mom would be the one that always liked every post. She still does today.
I love that.
It's hilarious. I'm like, oh, Brent, yeah, your mom liked my post again.
Yeah.
And, so they're our biggest fans. So we start selling 3 a month, and we're like, hey, this is kind of fun. And so Brent's cutting them at his work. I'm assembling them at the house, and I'm shipping them out, then going to work. And then I start involving the kids. Hey, I'll pay you, $10 an hour. Come help me kind of do, make some boards. So I started doing things with my kids. That was the ultimate goal, is take my mind off mortgage and on my kids. So 2017, we're getting into 10, and then start to get to, we got up doing maybe 15 or 20 boards. I mean, it got really going well. I'm thinking, so I started putting a little bit of money in advertisement. I'm thinking, okay, because I put about $5,000 on my Amex card. You always say, don't start a business on your Amex card. Well, I did.
So, as long as you got the persistence, right?
Yeah. I'm like, well, it's all parts. I could probably sell this stuff, wheels and trucks and bearings. And I just started putting, $100 into Google and, $100 into boosted ads on Instagram. And we have a neighbor that was working at Vivint, and he came and said, hey, Russ, those are pretty cool. Could you put the Vivint logo on some boards for our sales guys? I'm like, yeah, how many? He goes, well, 150. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. So I call up Brent. I'm like, hey, Brent, think we could even figure out how to make 150 of these boards? He goes, no. I go, yeah, I think we can. Let's do 150 of these. And so he rolls his eyes at me, and he makes the 150 boards, brings them all over to my house. And we have all our kids over there. We put on a couple of movies on a Saturday, and we pull it off. We build these 150 boards. I drop them off, and they give me this check for like $15,000. I'm like, holy crap! I just made $15,000 on skateboards. I'm like, we're like legit.
Yeah, we're legit now.
We're like real.
We're in it.
Yeah, we're in it.
And then at least every single one of those boards probably inspired at least one sale.
And then we started growing a little bit from that. Then another company called Web Audio said, hey, could we get a couple hundred boards for Christmas gifts? And we're like, so actually we have a board called the Web. We named it after them. It was their design. Doesn't look like a web, but it's their name, name. And so even our website, we still have the Web board. And they gave us another big check for like 15 grand. We're like, wow, this little private label, making custom boards is legit. And then people started asking a lot more, like, hey, can we get my tattoo on a board? And we're like, yeah, send over a picture. It'd be like a butterfly. We're like, yeah, we could do that, or a skull or a dragon. So we started doing a lot of people's tattoos to match the boards. And people thought that was a really cool idea. So I started adding more designs to our website. Every time we did a custom, I just added it to the website, because then I actually could take a picture of it. I'm out there with my phone, take a picture of that, upload it. Now we have a dragon board. Now we have a butterfly board. So every time we got these orders, they just became a new design. So we're really just following the customers. We stopped trying to come up with our own designs. We've never have ever since. It's always, what does the customer want? Then we add it to the website. So our real viral moment is after those a couple companies ordering, and then we started doing like boards for like Sodalicious and Mobetta's and Cup Bop and Waffle Love, or doing all these companies. And the beauty of our board, if it's out on the street, you can't tell. You see someone on a skateboard, you don't know the brand. Oh, look, there's a skateboard. That's all you know. Our board, like, that's a ghost board, or what is that?
Yep.
Clear thing rolling down the road. And so it's an eye candy product that people then want to go ask people, what is that?
How many prototypes have you guys gone through, do you think? Or did it kind of go, like, how's the board itself scaled up over the years?
Yeah, so the very first design, and that was also with customers. So we started out with this big 48-inch pintail boards, we call it. And then somebody came back to us and said, can you do one with wheel cut? And we're like, yeah, like a 40-inch. And someone said, well, can you do a platypus design? So we're always Googling, what's a platypus design? We're like, oh, yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
That's the one with the platypus
kind of shape.
Yeah.
Front and back looks the same. And that's actually most popular today. And then people are like, well, can you do one that's for kids, like a 30-inch? We're like, yes. And someone's like, can you do a little penny board, like a 24-inch? Like, yes. So I just always said yes to everybody. So we came up, and now we've done boards in the shape of, actually there's one being made right now, shape of a cheeseburger. There's a UFO. We did one for Netflix. It is an N. So you had trucks here. And we did one Pizza Hut, the shape of their roof. Right now we have an order we're getting out this week for Mac Tools. All the 100 boards are the shape of a wrench.
That's fun.
Yeah, it has their name on it. So every time someone asks me, can you do this? I'm like, uh-huh.
Yep.
And Brent then rolls his eyes at me and says, all right. I always say he's the guy that makes all my dreams come true, because I always come to him like, all right, Brent, what about a wrench board? What about a pizza board? What about a UFO? What about lights in it? And he'll roll his eyes. Okay, Russ, I'll go figure it out. He's really, really good at design, really good at machinery. And I'm just the dreamer. Really guy that always
you need
says,
both.
Yeah, I say yes to everybody. I'm like, yeah.
The optimist and the realist.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But that's even when we went viral. So I needed him as a realist, because all of a sudden this girl named Maddie went viral on TikTok. And if you're above 30 years old, you weren't allowed on TikTok yet. It was kind of a no-no. Yeah. It was this no-no that you were not allowed as an adult or dad. And she did this video of a butterfly board, said, hey, I just bought my first longboard. I'm in Ohio. My name's Maddie. This company's out of Utah. Let me show you how to ride it. And it blew up. And we did one day there was like 600 orders.
Ooh.
Yeah. And probably our biggest month is maybe 100 boards, or 150 of that company. And we're like, what in the world? And Brent called me. He's like, hey, did we get a virus? Because our phone, if you have Shopify, it goes ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. And it's kind of fun. I'd leave it on because I always want to hear like 3 of them ordered that day.
Ting, ting, ting.
Yeah,
that one,
yeah,
that
money.
One.
I'm like,
ting, 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 ting. You're like,
and it wouldn't stop. And I had to silence it because it was going ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. I was like, oh my gosh, what? And he calls me, and I'm at work. I'm still doing mortgage, and I go, I don't know, Brent. I'll look at it when I get home. I'm in meetings, whatever. We'll think about it later. And I get home, like I'm looking through all the orders. No, they all look legit. And he goes, Russ, we can't do that. I go, well, maybe that's just a 1 day weird thing. And then the next day was the same thing. And now this time Brent is the realist, comes in. I'm just kind of dancing to the sound, like, yeah, ka-ching, ka-ching. This is kind of cool. Yeah. My daughter comes home like, hey, from high school or junior high at the time. She goes, hey, you're on TikTok. And I go, what? What's TikTok? I'm downloading TikTok and I'm looking at it like, whoa, what's this Maddie girl? So I message her. I go, hey, what's going on? She goes, I don't know. I'm just senior in high school and this thing just blew up. I'm like, what did you do? She goes, I don't know.
I don't know. I was just myself.
But then Brent's calling me and says, shut the website off. You got to shut it off. So we had like 1,000 orders in 2 days. And I'm thinking, all right, you're right. So I'm trying to shut the website off and people are still ordering. They're finding things I haven't got to yet. I'm going through every page. Yeah. And I'm like, and they're finding, I'm like, oh, I forgot to shut that one off.
Yeah.
I forgot to shut that one off. And all of a sudden I get it all the way turned off and he comes over to my house. He goes, Russ, what are we going to do? And I've always just been that guy since little, like, I don't know, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So I call this guy, Alex Wong, out of Riverside, California. And I go,
so this is what, like 2021?
Yeah, this is 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, May 31st.
Perfect year for TikTok.
Yeah.
Everybody's on their phone.
And there's this thing, COVID, that's coming about. Everyone's still talking about it, not quite sure what COVID is. Mm-hmm. Everyone's unsure if it's real, if it's not real. And I'm like, I don't care. I ate rocks and
same here. I'm a garden hose drinker.
Yeah. I'm like, there's no such thing as anything get me sick. I don't really care. And so I still have never bought a mask. I thought those were dumb, and never got sick anyway either. But anyway, and I call up this Alan guy that has a skateboard distribution company. I go, Alan, I'm in a bind. He goes, yeah, I just saw. I'm like, how do you know? He goes, everybody knows. And,
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah. And I'm like, I need 1,000 wheels and trucks and bearings. He goes, I got you, Russ. So I call up my nephew. He just got married. And I go, hey, Brendan, what are you doing right now? He goes, oh, I'm looking for a job. I go, got one for you. I go, I'll give you $500. You jump in your truck right now. You drive to California. And if you can be back in 24 hours, I'll give you a $500 bonus. Oh, he's like, done. Jumps in with his wife. He takes off, and I give him a check for like 20 grand because I had all this money. Mm-hmm. So all the customers kind of floated our growth because I have all this money. But it's scary too because if I don't fulfill, they're going to do all the chargebacks.
Yeah.
So it's a scary moment. How fast can you deliver?
And you don't want 2,000 people angry at you.
Yeah,
on
and you
social
don't.
media.
And so he runs down there. He picks up all the truck's wheels, comes back, and I go, okay, we got to get these 1,000 boards out. So we're busting it. We're getting all my kids, Brent's kids, all the neighbor kids. Everybody was coming over to help. And I have UPS coming, FedEx teaching me how to do labels because we're getting orders from everywhere, all over the world. I'm like, I don't know. How do you send a board to Brazil or India or Russia? I'm like, I don't know how to do that.
Talk about a drop shipping company, right?
And I'm like, I don't know how to do any of this. So I'm getting all this help. And then Alan calls me and says, Russ, turn your website back on. People want your board. And so I go to Brent. I go, how much do you make? And he tells me, I'm like, I think you got to quit your job. And him and his wife were over at my house. And it was a tough conversation to have. And he's like, that's scary. I go, how about I just turn it on this week? If it continues, I think you ought to do it and do this full time. So he goes, okay. So I flipped the website back on and we did like $1 million in 1 month.
I got chills. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was $965,000. Okay. So it was just under $1 million. And then then the realist comes back. I'm thinking, yeah, this is cool, Yeah. And, but I didn't know how we're going to do it still. And, that's where all chaos breaks in and all you're doing is putting out fires. So I'm up till 2 a.m. answering 600 emails a day. People asking questions. When am I going to get my board? I'm like, 6 months from now. I'm seriously, I'm in a panic mode. I'm trying to source, wheels and trucks and bearings and boxes. Brent's trying to source acrylic. My wife is running around to all these other machine shops, seeing if they could help us. So she committed 4 other machine shops, from Ogden to Orem. Like, can you make 100 boards a day for us? Can you make 100 boards a day for us? So we got 4 machine shops to commit 100 boards a day for us. So then Brent was running around teaching them how to make the boards. And then I was sourcing all the rest of the stuff. And we're having Domino's Pizza bring 20 pizzas a day. How much Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew we went through. And I had 3 pop-up tents in the driveway, 20 kids in the garage. I had 10 moms in the kitchen printing labels with UPS and FedEx. Seriously, I had 50 people in my house.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then about midnight, 2 a.m., I'd push it all into the garage, shut the garage doors, and then be back at it at 4 a.m. Yeah, sleep for a couple hours and back at it. Then my wife was in real estate. She's like, you got to get the business out of the house.
Yeah.
There's boards. You couldn't even walk to the bathroom. It'd all be lined up. Seriously, you'd have to kind of squeeze through the hallways. They'd all be lined up down the hallway. They're under the couch. They're behind the piano, on the piano. Boards were everywhere. And that was the start of a lot of chaos too, because then we didn't know who ordered what. We didn't have any systems. I mean, there was nothing in place. And so when you say wing it, shoot from the hip business, it was 100%. I had calls from people like, hey, Russ, because my phone number was on everything, my cell phone. My cell phone was blowing up. And they're like, I just got 16 boards sent to me and I only ordered 1. I'm thinking, how did we send this person 16 boards? Who printed the label 16 times? And like, how do we fulfill it? Like that. I mean, that was the chaos we were dealing with, trying to move the business out of the house, how to get insurance, how to actually get rid of all the underage people that we're not allowed to hire, and we're like, they have to be a certain age. We can't have child labor. We've never done that. And, and organize it as a business on the fly while you're slammed. And that's what's hard, because you have chaos. You have all these orders that you don't want to stop. So you're raising even the price, because I don't even know what my cost to make one was at this time. I don't even know what my labor. So I have 50 people. I have 3 shifts of employees, starting from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. Be like one morning shift, afternoon shift, evening shift. I'm just hiring bodies to fix things. And it became a funnest business in the world, but probably the most stressful business in the world.
I bet. And then, because like you said, as soon as you put out one fire, 2 more pop up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was during that time too, the supply chain issues was probably a thing.
Huge. Yeah. Then COVID. Then you have COVID. Then you have kids getting sick, and then they have to wear these masks, except me. And you're trying to 6 feet apart. Okay, how do you do assembly line with people not getting sick? And we just lost 6 employees today. We just hired another 10. We just lost another 3. And then supply, you're like, and so Brent was clearing out every place. He called from Chicago to Seattle to Mexico. We're calling Indonesia. We're saying, hey, how much acrylic do you guys have? Like, this much. We'll take it all. And then I'm calling skateboard companies, like, how many sets of wheels do you have? I'll take them all. I didn't really care. I was writing checks for thousands and thousands of dollars every single day. Like, you want me to wire you $250,000 to China, but I've never met you? Sure. And I just wire the money. And you're like, okay, I hope that actually we get that. Yeah. And seriously,
hope this is real.
Yeah, you're wiring $250,000 here, $250,000 there, and then
you don't have the time to fly over there to go check in on things.
You have no idea what you're doing. Then I hope you're the right ones. I hope the quality's there. I hope I'm getting what I'm getting. I mean, you're having them send you samples. So you're looking at it, testing it. I'm trying to ride every board design, every shape, because I need to test them myself and make sure we got the right thickness, the right size, the right everything.
All those things make such a big difference too. Having shitty bearings or wheels, that can be such a turn off for a skateboard.
And like I said, right in the very beginning, I kind of had it a little bit organized, because I built the ones for me. Like, these are the bearings I like. These are the trucks I like. So I had it kind of narrowed down what I wanted, but I was still making slight adjustments. Like, okay, I need to tweak that. then you're like, okay, where do I buy a box? And what's my cost to manufacture? And then you're trying to figure out, okay. And then I had stores calling me. Like I remember the first time, the first store that ever called me, it was a one called Saks Fifth Avenue. And I was like, okay, I looked up their website. I go, you guys sell purses and girls' shoes, but you want my boards? Like, yes. Yes, we want all the girl design boards. I want the hibiscus flower. I want the rose. I'm like, okay, sure. And butterfly and pink trucks and yellow wheels. And okay, you guys are, I guess, in New York. And I go, yes. All right. I'm like, okay, I'll make boards for you guys. And I go, well, how much am I selling them to you for? So I didn't know. They go, well, you're selling to them for this. I'm like, so I'm back. Okay, I guess I still make money. They make money. I guess it works. And then another company called me, like Ron John Surf Shop out of Florida. A guy was really funny with me. His name is Jeff. Calls me up and says, all right, we have customers keep walking in, asking for your boards. I don't know who you are. They look dumb, but send me 6. If they don't ever sell, you'll never hear from me again. And hangs up. Doesn't even say goodbye. I don't even know his last name. I'm like, okay. So I sent 6 boards.
Jeff.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. So I sent him 6 boards. And he calls me back like 2 weeks later. Okay, they sold. I don't know why. They're really dumb. Send me 12. Send me 12. And if they don't sell, you never hear from me again. Click. I'm like, okay, Jeff. So I sent him 12. He calls back. All right. My name's Jeff. We could be friends. I'll take 2 pallets. And then we became best buds after that. So I'd meet him at these surf expos. He'd hang out all the time with me. And I was like, whoa, that was scary. And so then we started learning.
Now he probably rides one.
Yeah. We learned how to do pricing for wholesale and stores and how I do retail. And so I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. And I mean, even to the fun part, a couple of months ago, there was a show on TV called Love is Blind. And one of the guys rode out on our board on Netflix and on TV. And I'm like, dude, that's my board. And I'll tell you the funnest part about this business or any business when you create a product, I call it seeing your product in the wild. Like I'll be somewhere and I feel like I'm chasing them down. What's that old 50-year-old chasing me? I'm like, I just want to get your picture of my board. Get back here, get back here. I just have candy.
Allegedly. That's and I've seen them places too, or I remember seeing them more on TikTok. And I'm sure then you have like brand ambassadors and
or someone famous.
Yeah,
like called me up and I can't some names I can't say, but I'm doing something for like bands. I'm like, dude, I think I had your tape or your CD, and I'm like, this is weird and wild.
You're like, can I drive this to you?
Yeah,
can I deliver it to you?
Can we meet, shake hands? Yeah. So I haven't actually. There's an actor flying in tonight, and is picking up some boards he's gonna take them place to sign them, auction them off. I'm like, whoa, wait, you're who? I'm Googling. I'm like, look at his Wikipedia. I'm like, whoa, weird, wild. So it is wild the people I've met through this. Seen them in the wild, to actors I've met, to now we're doing licensing deals with companies, to even Hasbro license. We're doing some G.I. Joe, then we'll do some.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to do Transformers, and then we're working on some other licensing. So we're like this approved factory now that we're doing deals that things that you saw, on TV, or a commercial or whatever.
That must be nice. Sure. Must be nice.
It's still almost like a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still, Brent always like, oh, Russ, let's be real with everything. And I'm like, do you know who I just talked to?
Yeah.
Like I was DMing this person and I'll show it to him and like, holy crap. Yeah.
Really?
I know that person
now
in
he's
Hollywood. He goes, I just saw that person on Disney, channel. I'm like, yeah, weird, huh? So yeah, it's turned into this weird, fun thing.
Well, and now we're at the age where most of the kids skateboarders are adults or going to be adults now across the board, or are in their 40s, 50s, or 60s.
Yeah.
So we have less and less people that haven't been on a skateboard before.
Correct.
So I feel like this is like the perfect.
And we're this weird morph of a company because we tend to young kids to old people and everything in between, because we manufacture everything here in the U.S. and it's all custom. So even today, we don't pre-make any board. So as orders come in this morning, that is what go back to get cut today. So we work on we don't know what we're making tomorrow.
And that's interesting too, because then at least for this, there's not like a heavy overhead for unbought boards,
Yeah,
right?
it's all raw materials.
love
So
that.
yeah, I've got heavy raw material
Yeah.
inventory. You know, we've got a big warehouse, and today I was unloading a whole container of 23 pallets of acrylic. But yes, we bring in a lot of material.
Do you want to go see the
Yeah,
facility?
you should come. Yeah,
He wants to give
come
us a
on.
tour. So
Yeah, come take a tour. And
do we get to ride around boards?
absolutely, yeah, all
we just
through
ride.
there, yeah. Yeah, it just it morphed into something I had no idea what it was going to be.
Well, I love it too. I'm just looking over here, like the riser pads, because I've been skateboarding my whole life. Like I used to be pretty good. Like I was not the great, but I was like tricks and whatnot, and I can still drop in at 200 pounds, which hurts a lot more when you hit the ground. But,
Yes.
but yeah, the riser pads. Then you have the
battery under there.
right underneath the riser
trucks.
pad or in it. It's awesome, and the trucks look great too. You have your own trucks now too.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the angle of the kingpin and everything. That thing's sweet.
Yeah, so we just keep inventing more and more. So we've got into now doing balance boards, cornholes. Yeah, we're looking at how do you make a snowboard? How do you make a
I've seen that.
yeah?
That looks cool.
So we're always looking at new inventions. I'm kind of the idea guy. Like, what else can I make? My biggest worry of this business in the very very beginning was not become a fidget spinner where it was
it dies out.
one hit wonder song. And I didn't
Or
want
what are the other ones? Those little before the fidget spinners. Do you remember the balancing eagles where it had like the tip?
Yes.
You
yes.
spin them on your finger.
And then they disappear. So
Yeah.
like you have to to be a product, you have to say, what's the quality of it? How do you keep inventing and keep moving forward?
Yeah, I like the light. These are light up wheels
Yeah,
too.
those
huh?
are light up wheels. And yeah, then we've got different types of wheels. So we're always moving and changing. Like, how do we become a long lasting product instead of just be a one and done? And that's scary as a company. You start getting into things like, what do we do next? What's our next thing? How do we keep this exciting for people? So that's where
Well, it's so customizable too. It's
Yeah.
so unique. Like I love that. So people like can show their version of creativity.
and that's it. And we get a lot of companies that say, "Oh, I love those," and we want some of those. Like even the Utah Jazz bought 300 boards from us to give us gifts.
That's
To
amazing.
people, I'm like, the Utah Jazz,
Right?
I'm thinking, what? You know?
What did you just go with the Utah Jazz symbol?
Yeah. We did their logo on it, and so it looked really cool. And they gave them out as gifts, and
That's awesome.
we've done a lot
Talk
of
about
fun.
product placement for you guys.
Yeah,
They're
that's what it
everywhere.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been fun for that. I went to this other conference last week, Build and Bless, and I gave like 15 minutes before the show. I decided to make a Build and Bless board, and I gave it to the owner, and I just thought it was just be a fun gift, on it. And then he wrote it out on stage, in front of like 400 people. I'm like, oh my gosh! And then he made me stand up, and I'm like, dude, that was just I was given to you because you're just such an amazing thing, but he gave it back to me like so fast, and it's always fun when you see again.
I love that too. 'Cause
There you are. You made someone smile. You made their day. You made them happy. Probably the funnest thing of the company is we've seen pictures of a 13-year-old hugging their board, like best gift ever, or we changed someone's life from suicide that they got a board to go out riding. And so we've been able to bless a lot of people's lives. I'm really in depth inside a nonprofit with suicide prevention called Promise to Live. So I use Ghost Boards now.
That's with Brandy Vega,
Yeah,
right?
with Brandy.
Yeah, Brandy's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm on her board now, and so she uses
Pun intended.
Yeah. She uses me a lot to give boards to kids that need something to smile about.
I
So
love that.
so I'm now transforming a little bit more into that. My role is I got a call a couple weeks ago at midnight. A kid called me and said, "Hey, my best friend just wrote a suicide note. Can you go help me find him?" And so that's where, and we did. So he's good. We made him a skateboard, and he sends me videos of him at the skate park.
I love that.
So if I can do good with the company to give back to the community, that's where my direction's going. So as I use ghost boards and move into something, I think there's a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, a lot of kids.
Overstimulation.
Yeah, it is. I think they need to get off their phones. I always say, go check out the graphics outside. They're really cool.
Yeah.
And fall in love with the world. And that's kind of more my mission. So yeah, so Brandy is a good friend of mine, and we're meeting a lot now of what can I do with ghost boards, because they'll talk to me because I'm the skater dude, and that's what I'm used for, and that's what I want to be used for. Is the kids will talk to me about that versus, a parent. Like, oh,
because you still have recess.
Yeah.
Especially if you come skateboarding
Yeah.
up and you're like, hey, you want to ride this? They're
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, so I keep a truckload of skate decks and longboards, and if I find an opportunity, that's kind of my thing now with Promise to Live and Ghost Boards is work hand in hand with them.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's huge. And then being able to have or creating the time to give back for those kind of things, because there's so many people out there, especially in Utah. You got a lot of people,
Yeah.
New York, big cities, that they're just so self-centered. The nice cars and the this and that. It's hard. It's hard to get lost in.
And I think that's what hit me square in the face. Like, why do you build a business? And what are you going to do good about it? And I've been able to pay it forward a lot, because when I was young, I had bosses that helped me out. And so we've had that opportunity now to give scholarships and pay for church missions. And now if I can help in the suicide world or the depression world, I feel like that's kind of my calling. And I think there is a lot of companies that they just want to go buy another Ferrari, another Lambo, another helicopter. I'm thinking, dude, why don't you now... You've already made it. Why don't you give back a little bit to help out the ones that need that lift? And it doesn't always have to be monetary. It doesn't always have to be. Sometimes it's just, man, can I give you a hug and a smile?
100%.
And can we just go do a kick? Can you show me you can do a kick flip? Sometimes I'll just end up at the skate park and just pass out keychains and fun stuff. Stickers.
Yeah,
I do.
dude, stickers.
I go through thousands of stickers a month. I buy stickers by the tens of thousands.
Yeah.
And
that's huge.
And if they get a sticker and a keychain to put on their backpack, it makes them smile. It doesn't have to be a lot. And I think we need to, as a society, slow down, especially as business owners, and say, God, what could I do to help somebody do a little bit better, or just make it till tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Or give them, teach them how to make a spark in their own life.
Yeah.
Because it's big. And with coaching and everything else, similar thing. It's like teaching people how to forge their own tools, so then they can
teach them how to fish. So they could, so they could feed themselves.
Exactly.
Just don't give them the fish.
Right. Yeah. Teach them, make them a fish.
Yeah. Make them a fish.
Have you done a fish board yet?
We actually have.
Yeah.
Yes.
I figured.
Yeah.
What have been some of your favorite designs, do you think?
I like this one of my favorites is actually the UFO, because it gets the most attention. It's crazy looking. Never been, no one's ever made like a UFO board. I think the taco board I love tacos, so I made a taco board. I like tacos.
These things are sweet.
And
I think these are safer too at
at
nighttime.
Yeah. I always tell parents, moms, hey, your kid can go out at nighttime because everybody's going to see them. If we put red and blue wheels on it, it looks like a cop's coming after everybody.
Put that back there.
Yeah. So it's safer for them to be seen, and everybody knows where you're at. It's just a fun thing to go jump on, and they're easy to ride. Most people skateboards, you hit a pebble, you die.
Yep. Oh, I've been there plenty of times.
And longboards kind of roll over most of that stuff.
When did you start skateboarding?
I was 11 years old.
Okay. Yeah. So you understand.
Yeah.
You got your clay wheels.
Yep.
They had the skates with the metal.
Yeah. I have my dad's with the metal wheels in my office.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1945. It's about this big, metal wheels. Man,
they put carpet on top. Back in the day.
That's a death wish board.
Yeah.
I would never ride that thing. I mean, I look at it, I'm like, Dad, I don't know what you guys were thinking.
They had to do something, because that was what they had, right? The metal wheeled skates, and they just took the skates off of it.
Yeah, man. You hit a rock on that thing.
My buddy's dad used to help make boards for the Dogtown Boys, because I'm from Santa Barbara County.
Good guys.
Yeah, and so his Don Fletcher was his name. He actually works with woodworking and stuff. But yeah, he had all these pictures up in the basement of him skating with all of them, Tony Alva, and all those guys. What's his name?
Stacy Peralta.
Yeah, Stacy. Stacy, yeah, the whole group, and then he has the different boards from
Krishna,
his.
Soyuz.
Yeah, he has all the boards. Like he has one that's like a 2x4 with like with carpet on top, and he has a big surfboard one with the little wheels that they put on. Like so, it's cool. So I always think of that and like getting to see the different because he still made longboards for his son, and he made me one before.
I love that the Olympics have picked it up. I mean,
The Japanese kids are so good.
Oh my gosh, 10 years old, they're doing 920s, whatever. And you're like, wait, you're 10 years old, dude, and you got no fear, and you're just.
Yeah, the like 360 flip into a board slide down a rail, double kick flip out. You're like, what?
Yeah, it's like you have a slinky tied to your foot in the board.
Yeah.
I mean,
do that with our gravity. Try to do that with normal Earth gravity. I don't know what you guys are functioning on, but it's that threshold, you know, because back in the day, you get the fishtail board when those come out, and you're like, oh, and then Rodney Mullen, you know, learns how to ollie. And then you got the kick flip and the pop shove-its and things. And then next thing you know, you have another tail. You have the nose on it. And now
like,
people are doing.
I can do this and that.
Ollie in, and the ollies go from like, you know, all over milk cartons and just like the slants to and like whatever reverts and the slides and all the things. I don't remember all the names for stuff, but yeah. Now you got kids, like you said, dude. Kids doing all these wild, crazy tricks, and they just keep getting better and better. Like if you see Andy Anderson, Jesus.
I watch all of them. I'm like,
oh, I bet your algorithm's just skateboarding.
Yeah, it is. And I'm always like watching most of them. And, you know, you're trying to follow. You're like, wow, it's, you know, I was even watching the Olympics with Shaun White. This last one, he was on the, you know, like commenting. He's like, these guys, I'm glad they weren't around when I was around. What their tricks they're doing, you know, makes him look like, you know, like a puppy.
Oh, and he was that kid. He was that kid. He comes out of nowhere between snowboarding and skateboarding.
Yeah, and he killed it. And so I see, everything's moving so fast.
Martial arts too. You look at MMA and UFC and all these kids that are training at 4, and now
4 years old.
Then they're kick flipping at 3, and you're like, what? But now it's cool too because you know you got small boards. I don't know if you remember the termite skateboards that were for smaller kids. Yeah, like so now you have different. I'm sure you guys could make little ones too if you wanted to. It'd be fun.
People want,
yeah, a little 3-year-old longboard.
Yep.
Do you guys ever do motorized ones? Have you guys ever stepped into that?
We have. I don't do a lot right now because again,
it's probably more of a liability too.
Yeah, people like to. Yeah, that's again. I get told. Liability, insurance going to go up. You're sending lithium. Everybody likes to tell me no on stuff, and
makes you want to do it more.
The toughest thing about anything motorized is then you kind of become a repair shop too.
Yeah.
And so we got into scooters for a while, then we got into electric boards, and now I have parts. I've learned how to fix about every type of motor, every type of lithium. It's just one more thing that throws a lot of
not almost
stuff.
Yeah, is a lemon worth that squeeze?
I like them for myself. I don't really like to sell them now, so I have a handful around. I've never
even ridden one.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, yeah.
I used to have a gas powered one.
I've only broke one bone in my life, in my entire life, 54, and it was a couple of years ago, and it was on an electric longboard. They have a lot of power. They're fast and furious, and I remember, cause when you've never broken anything, you don't know what it feels like. I remember I went slamming down on my elbow, and I'm like, dang, that hurt. You know, I'm like, crap. And I decided to keep working the rest of the day, and I took some Advil. I went home. I told my wife, you know, I think, man, I hurt myself. I fell off a board. Yeah, kind of embarrassed too, because I've never fell. And this was like the first time.
Yeah.
Really kind of fallen in front of somebody. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of, because I just jumped up because you're like, oh, people's watching, you know?
I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah, no, all good. I think the adrenaline kicked in with me. And it's kind of like just like,
in that shock therapy, you're like,
yeah, it was. And then, so I decided, okay, I'm going to go to the chiropractor in the morning. And I go there and he started laughing at me. He goes, no, Russ, you got to go across the street over that hospital. I'm like, what? Why? You know, so I go over there. Then the doctor starts laughing at me. He's like, oh, I know who you are. I just bought 6 boards from you. He goes, I'm going to tell all my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he does an x-ray. Yeah. And I broke my elbow. Yeah. Then I'm going to a trade show in a sling. Yeah. I'm like, the boards are safe.
Yeah, there are. You're like, this wasn't my boards. Yeah, this was something else.
Yeah, something else.
Yeah, I was like, this is my ego. What happened? Yeah. I was on roller skates.
but then when you're older and you break something, you don't have, I call it green bones. It takes a while. Then I got frozen elbow or frozen shoulder because I wasn't using this arm for like a year. and then I couldn't lift my arm up, and everything.
And it runs bilateral.
Yeah,
then that shoulder's
it went
messed
through
up, your
and
hips.
all the way. I'm like, I can't lift my arm up more than
Your
here.
rotation.
Yeah, everything. So it really kind of messed me up. So I'm like, okay, I'm going back to just kind of cruising, have fun, enjoy.
Well, it's hard. That's why I don't have a motorcycle anymore.
Yeah.
Like, because the throttle's easy to pull, and it's way fun going 100 miles an hour on the highway or more.
It is.
And that's why I'm like, no, you don't need this because of these things. And the same thing with like motorized skateboards and stuff. Next thing I know, I'm like cautious the first week.
So
and then less
wear
and
a
less.
helmet.
Wear a helmet.
Wear a helmet.
Full
That's
face if
important.
you need. If you're especially
bubble wrap if you're old.
Yeah, bubble wrap, full gear,
Full.
like you're on a like you see the guys on the one wheels, and they have like full motocross
full
gear on.
everything.
Those things are scary too. Those
Yeah, they
one
are.
wheels.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be safe everywhere you go, whatever you do. If you're cruising canyons or paths, be aware. I always say, people go really slow so you actually see what the path is like. Is there a big hole in it? You know, is there rocks on it? So if you just take it easy, find your environment, then like, okay, I can kind of go back around and try it again. And
well, that's the side of pros and things that they don't see is the calculated risk. You don't see how many times a professional does something like when they do the
in
loops.
the foam pits.
Yeah, foam pits.
They've jumped 1,000 times in a foam pit, and
then they go on to the soft
and 900
ramps.
times they've over rotated or under rotated, and then when they do it for real, they're still saying, okay, I know exactly what my throttle. I know exactly what. I have to be.
Look at the MRI and X-rays of Travis Pastrana.
Yeah,
you know,
way too
he's
many.
just bionic man. He has like nails and screws and pins everywhere. Like
it's the risk of that. Yeah, I mean, their adrenaline that's their adrenaline junkies.
Yeah, I used to bomb hills on boards.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And the one time that happened is we're probably like 21, so we're drinking, and which don't do that. Never do that.
Yeah.
We're going down these hills, and there's this one hill, this is in California, that we usually go down, and my buddies are flying, and we didn't realize that the electricians ran like some sort of coax at the bottom.
Oh.
So, and it's dark. You know, I mean, there's lights, but
yeah.
we just see him hit and just
Oh,
boom,
shoot.
and just come to a stop, and all of us jump off our boards, and like we're trying to figure out. We didn't know what happened. He just hits, and then we could see it. Yeah, there was probably like I don't know.
Cord going across.
Cord going big thick black cord, probably like an inch.
Wow.
Yeah, and he just hits it, and he just swap hits the ground. We were going fast, probably like 30 miles an hour. I don't know, like. Yeah,
that's scary.
But those are, like you said, you got to check. Sometimes things can change.
Yeah, you
And
need
they
to
can
know where
change-
you're riding and what you're doing.
They can change fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be a scary thing. But for everything that's fun, that's something I always say is like when we became adult or into middle school, you lose recess.
Yep.
You get taxes, you get hormones.
Yep.
You know, and so finding things like this or giving back, I think is huge for individuals to be able to have recess again as adults. So in closing, usually what we do is you'll look into this camera here, and then just you went through a good amount of them anyways, but it'll be 3 tips, tricks, or things you think that guests or individuals might want to listen to or hear from you as a person.
Okay.
And then just when you're ready.
All right. I think one of the most important things anyone watching this podcast is, Ghost Boards. We're here to support a lot of suicide prevention. We're to support a lot of businesses. Or you're looking for a fun gift for all your employees, make people smile, or just come down and take a tour of our factory in Pleasant Grove, Utah. And we're just here to support other business owners that want to get started or what to do or how to do something. I'm an open book of share anything that I know from every failure to every success.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, of course. And then was that the one?
Yeah, is that it?
No, well, you could do 3.
That was kind of 3.
Okay, that works.
Is that 3?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah. I was just giving you the opportunity.
No, that's okay. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Russ Warner, he's awesome. The Ghost Longboards, huge leap, I feel like, in skateboards in general. It's just fun. It brings more attention back around. You get more kids on longboards. Maybe it's getting them to start doing tricks and stuff on other boards. But way to bring recess back to adults too. That's fun.
Manufactured in the USA at ghostboards.com. So,
all right, and you can find them all over the internet with all these awesome influencers.
And maybe in the wild too.
Yeah, it's going to be here too.
Yeah, there'll be one here for the wild.
Yeah, we're going to have here back in the wild behind us. Yeah. But just remember, get out of your minds, get into your hearts. Go hit the streets on one of these Ghost longboards. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for listening. And also click the link or click to subscribe. Please send this podcast to more people. We're growing. It's been great. Have a wonderful day, everybody.